a little sneak peek on what's going on here. What's up, everybody? Here we go. Here is my Hellwyn. I've bought there a little over a year ago. And we ran into some issues recently. And the audio just suddenly cut out, even though the thing still powers on. There we go. We're going to open this up and we're going to figure out what's wrong with it. Where are we to? Here we go. What's up? So yeah, we're going to get into this. I have already pre-diagnosed it, so I know what's wrong. But we're going to follow through the process here and open it up and just have a look around, and I'll show you what it's like. So we're gonna take this trusty screwdriver I have here. I'll try to keep an eye on the chat here as well. If you can't hear the music, just let me know. Yeah, everybody is always after this, and it's definitely a really difficult find, and I lucked out with this one. But I bought it from a guy over in Latvia, so that means that it's a 220 volt and not a 120 volt, which would be what we use here in the States and in Canada. So I require a power conditioner just to plug it in and use it. So I'm fix what's the problem. It is 100 watt, yeah. I'm pretty sure they only made these in the 100 watt one. Yeah, I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, this is a pretty easy thing to take apart. And I couldn't find a video on the Helwin specifically, but it's made by James Brown, which also made Marshalls. So it's very similar to that. And to do that, take the actual unit out. We have these 4 screws here on the bottom, and that's the only thing that holds the unit in place. All right. I'm not frozen, am I? I hope I'm not. Anyway, I'm going to take this apart here. Okay. Now, the first time I took this apart, I struggled to get the rack out after I got these screws out, but it was just a bit wedged in there, that's all. So there was a bit of a fight, but it came out fairly easy after that. I'll just put away my hardware here to the side so we don't lose it. So anyway, now that I got those screws out, I'm just going to tip this back up and we're going to take the unit out of the housing. Now, I should note when you're doing anything with these, you should have a fairly good understanding of what you're looking at, because it can be fairly dangerous with the capacitors and stuff, because they do carry large amounts of voltage, which could harm greatly. But I should disclose that I've had this unplugged for well over a week, so there should be absolutely no charge left to it. So I do have a voltmeter there as well that I can check. Okay. Also, we need to take the back plating off, which is also just a few more screws. All right. With all that off, we should be able to get this unit out. I originally was wondering if it was a tube issue that was causing my issue, because the whole unit would power on and the controls would work, but there was no sound at all. And I don't have a tube tester to verify that or not, but after getting into it and having a look around, I found the issue with a bit of help. There we go. And just like that. There we go. This is the actual amp rather than the housing. I'm just going to lay that aside there. Alright, let's get a closer look at what's going on here. So here, these are all the preamp tubes and the power tubes. Power tubes here, preamps are in here. And we're not replacing any tubes here today, but I should note that you can replace these without having to do any extra work, but the power tubes has to be paired with each other when you replace them and buy them, and then you have to base your amp with the new power tubes in it. And all that means is you have to make sure that they're all outputting the exact same voltage as each other, and that requires tweaking on the electrical board underneath. So we won't be doing that today. It's just a bit of information, that's all. And here is the transformer over here. And so yeah. Another thing I should mention is that whenever I was using this, anytime I would touch any of the volume knobs, it would cause a really staticky, crackly sound. So we're gonna get into that and try to fix that as well with a little bit of electrical contact cleaner. We're just gonna go and spray that on the inside of the pot there, and it just cleans it up really nicely after it getting a bit gunked up. And it works the same on your guitar as well, if you got the volume knob issues on that. Okay. We're going to tip this up here. I'm not going to let this go. I don't want it to fall. So if you look really closely, you don't have to look very closely. Our issue is pretty obvious. It stands out. And it's clearly this connector here. It melted for whatever reason. I'm not sure what caused the melt. I'm hoping it was just a poor connection physically, and it caused it to arc and create a lot of heat, which is pretty evident here. Let's see. Alrighty. So, the stuff you have to be careful about are these right here, which is the capacitors, and they can, it says right on it there's 500 volts and stuff running through it, and 1000 volts for these, I'm pretty sure. Nope, that's 500. Either way, you don't want to mess with it unless you have an experienced knowledge base of it. But yeah, this connector here, I will show you now. I have down here the wiring schematics for the Hellwin. And what we're going to be looking at is this connector right here, the J34, which is that purple one, purple PT, which is that wire. And it comes right from the Joule, the power LED. So that's a bit of a wiring diagram there, if you like those things. Okay, we're going to change the record to side B. Okay. There. Alrighty. I try to tip this up nicely now so it don't lean on the pots at all. Alrighty, you can see here, up in here are the pots, the potentiometers, that is your volume knob and all that stuff. So, I'm first of all just going to take a little bit of this electrical contact cleaner. So we're just going to spray it into behind it there a little bit. Don't need a whole lot. And then we're just going to turn the knob a bit so it gets all the gunk out of it. It's not going to hurt it. This is just a bit of a manicure, I'll call it. Okay. The top row ones is a bit more difficult to get into, but we're going to reach in behind here. Go. There's a little something simple you can do if you're a little bit handy, but it's just quality of life stuff here, that's all. Now, to fix this little wire here, you can see where he connects. I'll show you now. I have to get a little pointer. So, when I was in here looking, I didn't see this right away because it was still actually connected, kind of. But I was in checking all the fuses and stuff to see if the fuse broke. Like right in here is your little fuse, and there's a few of them around scattered around the board, so it's always good to check them anyways. Like over here you can see there's 4 of these, and they're just held in there with the little tags. If you take a pair of little tiny needle nose pliers would be best, but not on the glass part. You could just pop them right out, and it's a little filament inside of the housing. And it's pretty easy to check, so we'll grab one there. Just to show you here, I got a pair of tweezers here. I'm just going to take this side out over here. Yeah. Here in this, you can see the little tiny, it's hard to see on the camera there, but you can see the little filament inside there, and it's intact, so that means the fuse is still good. And I went through all of them there the other week, and they're all good, so it's not a fuse issue. It's a bit hard to do when you're working around other things. There, slips right back in just like that. Okay, and now there's a few other fuses. What actually caused me to see it is there was a fuse in right behind there that you can see, and it almost bit me. It was that close. So you can see that fuse I was checking there, but the connector, you can see where it got hot on the board, where that pin is right there. And we're gonna reattach a new pin and just connect it back, and hopefully that resolves our issue and it doesn't come back. And here we have a brand new connector here. Just a little push one. So we're gonna snip the end of this melted part off, and we're gonna strip the housing a bit back, and then we'll crimp it right on. I'm gonna use a pair of wire crimpers for that. Okay. Out with the old. Now, wrapped around like that. Usually when they're that, it means they're shielded for reduce any interference. Normally, you could just bring this to an amp tech and they'll fix it for you and you don't got to do this yourself. But where I live, there's no such thing. There's not even a music store. I can't even buy guitar strings where I live. Okay, my wire tempers are terrible. So I'm going to take a blade and just trim the insulation off the wire here. I'm not going to cut all the way through to take the wire off, just the rubber insulation. With a pair of proper wire strippers, this would be only a split second to do. But all of my good tools are at work. There we go. So yeah, you can see there that the wire got pretty hot because there's discoloration on it. So in that case, I'm going to strip it back a little bit farther because that would cause extra resistance and heat, and we do not want that. Because heat is what got us into this situation in the first place. Got it off there. There we go. There we go. That's just all strands of copper wire because. And now that wire end is just going to fit into the end of that, and we'll crimp it right in place. Okay. Let's see if I have enough exposed wire. Yeah, that should be good. As long as it reaches the inside. Actually, it might be better if we expose it a little bit more. We don't want to cut it too short, but at the same time, we need enough. There we go. Now, oh yeah, so you can see down inside. Well, I can see. Maybe you can see too. Try to get that lined up with the camera. No. But anyway, the wire is in there and it's enough, so we're going to crimp it in place. I need both hands for that. Okay. Did not work, clearly, because my crimpers are trash. We're going to try again. And if it doesn't work, I do have spare ones of these as well. My music stopped. I'm gonna have to change the vinyl. I'm just gonna give it a little tug, and it clearly didn't work. So we're gonna start over. First of all, I will change that vinyl. And if you're wondering what we're listening to, I have here is Sum 41's newest album, Heaven and Hell. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it. It is their very last album ever, and then they're done. Alright, I'm actually gonna go get a pair of wider tooth pliers there, so it gives more of a even crimp and doesn't cut it. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. A wider bit of a tooth on it. There we go. A little gentle tug on it will show that it's seated properly, so we shouldn't have any issues. Now we're going to reconnect the wire to the prong here. Again, the connector there is going to go right in there. And it's really simple. It literally just slides on in, and it should hold itself in place with those two little teeth right there. So yeah. There. shorter, it's a little bit more difficult. Okay, I think I have it in place. I'm going to give it a little check there. Seems to be connected. Alright. And while I was in here already prior to this, I took my multimeter and I tested the connection between the fuse and that prime just to make sure that the circuit board wasn't damaged from the heat. And there was continuity on it still, so that should indicate that it's still good. So, alrighty. That's the repair. Done, just like that. So we're gonna spray the pots here on the back now, as you can see. And then we're gonna close it back up and give it a test. But then for that I'm gonna probably blow it with a bit of dust and stuff. And give it a wipe down just so it's clean. Because the dust is not framed either. Give it a turn just so the contact goes over and cleans itself up here. Okay. Just like that. Mess here, so lay it back down. This thing is heavy. Okay, now it's a few years old now, 2013. So it's accumulated a bit of dust, so we're just gonna clean up the dust here. I got a cloth, like a triple microfiber cloth. Yeah, I have a little bit of cleaner here. That's what I use when I detail my vehicles and stuff. All I do is I'll spray a little bit on. It's odorless, it's streakless, so it shouldn't harm anything. Give it a nice clean up here. blow any dust in the hard to reach areas here. Okay. Now, we'll just, since we're here, I'll just show you how to take out a tube here. It's really simple. Let's hear. Let's get this one. Nice up close and personal. So the preamp tubes are in these housings, whereas the power tubes here, I'll reiterate. To take the power tubes out, these two prongs kind of pinch it in place. So we're just going to spread it a little bit. And gently just wiggle back and forth while pulling up. And it's just like that. It comes out just like that. So you can look at it. It only fits in one way. As you can see on the bottom here, there's a little notch. And that will only let it fit in one way, so you can't mix up the orientation of it. But you can buy a connector for, I believe, your multimeter, and it sits on the bottom of this, and it's a tube tester is what it's called, so it can test whether these are still properly operating. But I do not have one of those as of yet. I've been looking at them online. They're not very expensive. So we're just going to reseat this. But one way I did see how to check it very basically is to take the multimeter and just check for continuity between a couple of the prongs. And it should only be continuity between two specific ones, and you'd have to look up what ones they are. So here we have the ECC 3S. These are JJ tubes in this one. And again, there's only one way to fit. There's a prong missing. And if you look down at the bottom of it, you can see that missing prong lines up with that blank spot. Yeah. Let's check that actually. Grab my meter. Put it on your continuity mode, it's called. That just means it has electrical flow and it operates. When you have continuity, when you touch a couple of the prongs together like this, the display will read. It should be 0, which means there's no obstructions, and the number will flicker a little bit like that, mind you, but let's have a look. So you can see there that when I touch those two prongs, meter shows, where's the 2? There, you can see the meter doing that, which means it should have continuity. So this tube may be good. You'd have to get a tube test in there for sure. And the seat is back in, you just take it, and slowly wiggle them down, back in place. Just like that. Now we're going to put the unit back in its casing and then fire it up and see if the tubes light up. Or maybe we should just turn it on before we put it in so we can see if the tubes light up. Because prior for me doing any of this, the unit itself would power on, and you could control the channels and stuff, and the lights would all work. Everything would seem like it's working, but there'd be zero sound. Okay. So, where's my plug-in to? Again, where it's a 220 volt, and it's from over in Europe and stuff, you can see the different plug-in, but that's what my little transformer I have here on my bench is. I had this prior to buying my Hellman because I bought a little Marshall JVN combo amp, and that's what I used to power it, was this, because that one came from Poland. Bigger can't be choosers when you get a hold of the Hellman. Work around it. I don't have the electrical knowledge to place a transformer in it, nor do I have access to an amp tech that would be able to do it for me. But I'm sure that's a route that you could take somewhere if you find a transformer that you could get. I hope my audio is good, so I'm just talking here before. Sounds good to me. So, we're going to plug this in. Also, there's one more fuse I didn't mention. Let's see. Here on the back of the amp, right where it gets power, the plug-in here, you can see there's a little hatch right here. There's a fuse hidden in there as well. That would be the main power, so I'm guessing if that was gone, none of it would light up. So I checked it regardless, but I didn't think that was the issue, and it's not. So we're gonna go get the housing. No, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, powered on. Now, turn on my transformer first. Correction, I'm going to plug in my transformer to the wall. And then turn on. Seems I've accidentally unplugged my record player. Wild. Where did that die to? Whatever. I guess it's starting over. You get to listen to it again. Deadly. Okay, now. Power it on. It has power. Look at that. So now, we're just going to switch to amp on. It all lights up. Look at that. Good sign. Good sign. So we swap the channels over. We're at lead 2, lead 1, lead 2. We got our clean and our clean 2, which is the US and UK cleans. Yeah. That's my DAT number 80. I'll need to do a sticker some others too, but that's not right now. So, first of all, before we switch it on, we just have a resistor. We need to have it connected to a cab so it won't burn itself out. Go. So all we have that plugged into the back there. Speaker output goes into my cab, which is sitting right here. That's my mic out. We'll plug in the guitar. See if she gives us any sound if she's alive. There's no sparkling, no sound. It didn't catch fire. Hopefully it's alright. Alright. We got two different inputs here for whatever pickups you're using. We're going to be using the Synbuckers, which is the normal. They're not active pickups. The Synbuckers are passive. Okay. So, you can see the LEDs on. We have power. We can turn the standby switch on, but we're going to get the guitar first. Alright, we now have the guitar here. Do a quick tune check. Okay, guitar is in tune. Let's see now. All plugged in. All right, we're gonna fire it up. Look at that. Our tubes have lights. I can hear them heating up. That is an excellent sign. You can see them glowing there. They did not do that prior to this repair. So we have fixed this issue. So, all right. I have no volume turned on my guitar currently. I'm going to turn it up. Let's see here. Oh, it makes sound, it lives. So that means the repair is complete. Lots of volume. As for that crackling sound when I touch the volume, it doesn't do it anymore. So the contact cleaner did its job for sure. Because the moment I would touch it, it would make some bad sounds. makes me happy, that does. I have my amp back. Woo! Too loud. Look at that. Awesome. Nice. All right. We're going to switch it off here and turn it off, and we're going to put the unit back in its casing. Yeah, I can definitely feel now where that was turned on. I can feel a bit of heat coming from the tubes. They do heat up pretty nicely. We're not going to touch those because they're now hot and there was electricity now flowing through the unit. So now is the time to take caution when touching things on the inside of it. But we're done doing that, thankfully. And like I said earlier, even though I have it unplugged now and disconnected from all power, there's still charge running through the capacitors. So it could be very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. Full disclosure. But touching the chassis of it is fine because it's ground. Oh yeah, there's a good bit of heat coming off that. Go. All right, we're gonna lift it right in now and just slide it right up to where it's supposed to be. Just going to lift up slightly so it gets over that little spot where the screw goes in. And there we go, back in place. Not light by any means. Turn music back on. So now we're gonna tip it back down. we're going to put the screws back in. And it lines up nicely. Perfect. There we go. The unit is back in place. You can see there. Internals are there. We're going to put that plating back on now. Just going to put a few screws in place for now. There, just like that. Now, there's a bit of dust on top, so we'll go ahead and clean all that up, make it look pretty as well. Not only functional. Take my cleaner here, do a little spray here. And I'm going to take my detail brush, really get into all those grooves, get the dust. Give it a wipe up now. It should look brand new. I see the girls are dressed in their summer clothes. I have to turn red until my darkness goes. I see a line of cars and they're all painted black, with flowers and my love both never to come back. I see people turn heads and quickly look away, like a newborn baby. It just happens every day. Cool.
I wanna see it painted black, black as night, black as gold. I wanna see the sun blotted out from the sky. I wanna see it painted
black. Yeah. Okay. Just gonna do a little play along here now. Alrighty.
Staring at the carnage, praying that the sun will never rise. Living another day in disguise. These feelings can be right. Real courage to stand up and fight. Oh. Challenge me, you must be strong. I walk your land, but don't be long. 2 million soldiers can't be wrong. It's no run, but I've been here before. I'm far from home and I'm fighting your war. The way I've been to this, I wanted better things. Some are scared, others killing for fun. I shot a father right in front of the sun. Take this from my gun, just listen. These will erase my dream. Fight for honor, fight for your life. Pray to God that I
you have it. The repair was a success. Everything works nicely, as you can see. And it's all cleaned up, and a bit of quality of stuff. Quality of life stuff. Just works better. So yeah. Thanks for tuning in for those who did. And that's the stream for today. Might go again tomorrow now because I got a Rickenbacker base, a natural finish 4003 model, I believe it is. And I'm going to be stripping that apart and cleaning up the metal parts on it and stuff because they're a little bit corroded looking. And I'm going to be sanding the finish because I'm going to be painting it. I don't like natural finishes, and that might make a few people angry to paint over. Whatever, fuck it. So we're gonna do that probably tomorrow, I'd say. We got some time tomorrow. So tune in for that as well. Yeah. Let's see. Perfect. See you next time.